all right. We are back. Okay, Kenny. Listen, man. This one is a bit of a
Sir,
late show. How you doing today, sir?
doing great. A little tired, but I'm good.
Hey, man. Listen, man. Corporate America had us by the neck today. Okay, but not for too long, man. Okay, big waste of time. But anyway, we're so happy to be here again. And look, man, we have a lot to talk about today. I think this show is gonna be a spicy one, man. And wherever it goes is where it goes, man. So let's jump right into it, man. As usual, let's check out the market situation today. Look at that Bitcoin dominance. That is down again. You notice?
What? From 17 to 16.8?
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, Ethereum.
Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum went down.
Ethereum was
I
14
think Ethereum
yesterday.
went down. Or
Oh yeah,
17.
actually,
It was 17 yesterday.
yeah, it's gone down a bit because this
Uh,
morning I checked it this morning as well and it was 17 and now it's 16. But Bitcoin
yeah,
definitely
and
has dropped.
well, it's still 45.5. It was 45.5 the last time. So maybe Doge took some of it.
There is a, let's see. Well, actually, Bitcoin has been rising if you notice. So it's actually been on the rise. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Jeez, why do those
Yeah.
numbers always confuse me, man? That's interesting. But before we jump into our articles here, which, man, some fire articles we come across today, and I feel like I'm going to be ranting this whole episode, right? And let's begin with, before we get to Dogecoin, right, I just want to put Dogecoin on the side here, and let's get to that once we're looking at the charts. We're going to talk about just the news, right? And you can go ahead and kick it off here. I see you have an article about the SEC, and they're talking about rules for Robinhood. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so it's just in summary, the SECs are gonna start looking into what the hell happened during the old GameStop saga,
Right.
and they might start creating some policies around that. Just to keep it short, I still don't think anyone is going to jail for what happened,
Right.
but they want to look into, the kind of power or the impact that companies like Citadel could have on the market, and for what reason was the market was trading altered, right?
Right. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, is Robinhood gonna get a slap on the hand? Citadel gonna get another slap on the hand? We don't know yet, but they're looking to control what access or power, maybe groups of people on Wall Street bets have, or maybe kind of the power or control that Citadel and Robinhood have to halt trade. So we should be looking forward. We just hope that the SECs are on our side,
Right.
because that GameStop nonsense really
Hey.
did us bad. We had no clue about it. We
You
just
know,
happened
that-
to get caught in the middle of all the nonsense.
Yeah, we didn't have any clue about it. But here's the thing about it, man. That GameStop and AMC situation and everything else that was caught in it, that was a lifetime opportunity for a lot of people, right?
We bought AMC in November.
Yeah, we did. Dude, and that's the incredible thing. I woke up that morning, right? And remember, I told you I was like $3,000 up, and I was just sitting there like, this is
Yep.
insane, right? I'm like, this is great. I'm waiting for the market to open so I can exit. And then the market opens, and someone or a group of people
Boom.
felt like they had the power to stop everyone from making money because they put themselves in a compromising situation, right? And that is outright wrong. I mean, we don't even need to emphasize on that. But something that I was also looking at this article and I thought it was interesting was this payment for order flow situation, right? So essentially what is happening here is you have your stockbrokers and they're essentially paid by these companies.
That's a workflow. There's
Right.
actually a flow between when you make your order and when your order actually gets executed. It doesn't get executed for 2 days, but there's behind the scenes,
Behind the scenes, yeah.
the payment for order flow. There are companies that actually say, okay, you know what, I will pay you for that trade. So if you were looking at the trade and you're buying it for like $12, right? Maybe the actual price at the time that you're actually buying is actually, it's actually $11,
$11,
but you pay $12. But they've made a deal with this company behind the scene that basically accepts the order for you, and you're looking at your system and it's maybe delayed by a few seconds, which allows them to be profitable by a few cents, which adds up over time based on the amount of trades that happen. So like
It definitely
payment for order
does.
flow is like, yeah, payment for order flow is like I pay you in advance to accept all the trades, and
Right.
then I would eventually execute those trades for you and take the profits off the top.
Yes. So with
That's it.
that then, so what happens then is when so what just so that anyone who is kind of new to this can understand it. You see a stock on Robinhood, you see the price there is $12. You buy that stock, but when you buy that stock, Robinhood takes that order and gives it to this
Citadel
to
or
yeah, so to
wherever
someone
the
like
company
Citadel,
is.
right? Like the a
Yeah.
firm like Citadel that uh, essentially fulfills the order for you. But now that they know that you bought it for $12, they have that ability to get it for less, or they already have it for less, right?
Yeah, because they have access to the main NASDAQ grid, right? What you're
Right,
seeing on Robinhood is just a display, and it's a delayed display. It's
right.
not the exact second trade.
Is that not
Even what we
manipulation?
see on TOS, even
Yeah,
what we see on TOS is not the exact
it's not
market,
the exact thing. But
and we're paying for that.
Robinhood pushes it. Robinhood really pushes it, And here's what makes me sad about this is that Robinhood is the is that one broker that came through and essentially obliterated
Give you access.
commissions,
Yep.
right? And go ahead.
The commissions is what gives you access to these platforms, right? It allows it's the transaction fee, right? So you know how on TOS is TD Ameritrade Think or Swim application, and you
course.
have the active trader, and you can see all the different price actions moving really really
Absolutely.
fast.
Yes.
You know, there's a system that feeds that output that actually has the exact
Exact price.
microsecond price,
Yeah.
and once 1 cent off, 2 cents off that you don't care about off on Robinhood
Right.
count by the time you have 1 million orders on Robinhood and you don't even care about the price, and they have access to the exact price on their own active trader, they're making a ton of profits.
So
Because
as
you pay $12 and it's actually 11.50.
yeah,
That 50 cents is their money.
you're absolutely getting totally getting crushed there in the market, and this is why a lot of times you order things and it's negative for a while, right? Now, the thing is, how do
Oh
we
yeah,
go
and
about
that
result?
and that happens to us a lot.
It happens a lot. And hey, remember when we figured out how to use auto flow, the ladder for
Yep.
the active trader?
Yep.
Made such a huge
Yep.
difference because we're able to see that people were not actually trying to pay the same thing that we were paying. They were kind of sitting much lower on the grid, right? And their
Yep.
orders got filled
And they were
while we
getting
were
in.
negative.
Yep, they were getting in. Yep.
Exactly. So
Had
now,
you enter a trade and you're already -5, -7, that's leaving money on the table.
exactly. Now, one other thing that they mentioned in this article that is interesting, and we're also going to come back to kind of a solution sort of thing, right? Which is comes to that sort of decentralized, solution, if you will. One other thing that I noticed is the fact that one of the things they're trying to monitor here or restrict is the ability for institutional investors essentially to use AI and machine learning to track conversations that people are having about certain stocks on the market. What would be the downside to something like that for people who do not understand?
So you can use AI to make prediction on the price action direction. Of course, you have the MAs, right? The price action over what's the full meaning of MAs again?
Moving averages.
Uh,
Yeah.
moving averages over a period of time, and you
Yeah.
can use AI to say, okay, based on these numbers, blah blah blah. So now what they're doing now is reverse engineering. They can afford to bring in companies like Palantir.
Hey,
I say, yo,
Yeah.
Palantir, help us predict all these words inside this chat room and what is it saying. And based on that, they can say, you know what, let's short this specific stock. And as you know, I don't know why hedge funds like to short, but they love shorting stocks. And maybe that's what they do. They this is an assumption here. They go based on use AI to predict what's going on in the chat board in the chat rooms, and they say, okay, this is kind of a summary of what's going on with this specific stock. Let's go ahead and short it. The next thing you know, you're going red.
I think if they are shorting it at this point in time, and with the awareness, all right, that is that the retail investor, that would be you and I, with the awareness that the retail investors are picking up, if they're really doing this, I think that retail investors can hold for longer than these guys can be stupid, right? Because at some point, if you're shorting it and you're borrowing all of this money, obviously you're leveraging, you're kind of using margin, right? And at some point, you will have to get rid of it if the stock is not at your price target. For example, like,
And I think that's the advantage.
yeah. No, I was gonna say, like, say something like
I think
PRTY
that's
or
the
Tesla, right? And it's continuously falling.
Yep.
Has it reached your price target? What is the price
Yep.
target, and how long before those contracts expire? If that is the case, go ahead.
Yeah, totally agreeing with you here. So I
All right.
think that's the advantage that retail investors out there have, is that they actually have the numbers, and they also now have the technology of social platforms
Yes.
at their advantage. So you're no longer reading a newspaper from Wall Street Journal and finding out what's going on with your investor and calling your
Your
what do they call
broker.
them? Your
Your
your your
broker.
your invest yeah yeah
Your,
your
is a
your, your
broker? Yeah,
broker
it's
to
your
say,
broker.
hey,
Yeah.
sell this stock. Yeah, your broker. So now you can just log into, join the group, which I
Right.
recommend everybody does,
Hey.
and just learn that group mentality. Because if basically what's going on in the market right now with this whole noise about interest rate and so on and so forth is to
Right.
scare retail investors out of the market so they can go back into making money. And
Absolutely.
basically all you gotta do is, if you are trading stocks, not options,
Yeah.
just hold. It's a stock. It's not expiring like
It's
an
not gonna
option
expire.
is.
Yeah.
Just hold. Yeah, it's not going to
Absolutely.
expire, so just hold.
Absolutely. And I think, the group situation is the same thing that institutional investors do, right? They come together, talk about stocks, have
Oh yeah,
technical analysis, and
yep.
then they go out there and they execute. So it's the same thing that we're doing as retail investors.
And they follow each other all the time, right? They
Exactly.
do. If one is doing it, the other one start doing it.
Yeah, they
So if
definitely
if
do.
they can do it, what's wrong with Wall Street bets doing it? That's one thing I also don't understand.
Exactly. Now, before we move on from that one, there's last thing I would like to say. As far as a solution for this, blockchain. We're back to this again, right? I think one of the best ways that we can avoid things like this from happening is to make sure that everyone is able to submit their order directly, right? To, I don't know, some sort of a system. I'm sure it can be figured out. But the current way it's happening, where someone has the ability to take action on your order before it's submitted, right? It's absolute manipulation, 24/7. No names, but it's happening. Well,
I think
Robinhood
it goes
admitted to
back
it.
to the banks, and
Yeah, Robinhood actually
yeah, I think
admitted
it
to
goes
it,
back
which
to
is
the banks.
go ahead,
Yeah, they did.
go
They
ahead.
did. And it goes back to the banks and the hedge funds lobbying the sex and and government not to improve the system.
Right,
But yes, with blockchain, there's no need for all those middlemen.
exactly. And you see, I think this happened once already, right? Where you start making gains, and this is when they kind of kick in and start shutting things down. And most of the time, that's happening because there are some people in the institution who are on the wrong side of that trade, right? And which is why this is coming up. And you can see here in this article, it also says back in December, they agreed to pay $65 million to settle the charges that it failed to properly disclose its practices. Why would you do that?
Well, I would assume, again, excuse my assumption, but I like to
Right,
connect the dots.
right,
If you're making $2 billion in profit and the sex is only charging you 65 million,
right,
hey, I can afford to pay 65 million. That's part of my expenses.
right.
I will continue to do it and don't mind getting slapped on the finger a couple of times, and I'll keep making my billions. That's why they were able to shut things down in January, or was it February, or in December, and I think they did something similar yesterday
Yeah,
with crypto.
yeah. That I've heard that was happening to. Well, that was happening to Dogecoin. I experienced it as well. I saw, and actually Leo was having some issues with that as well, right? And this,
Yeah.
which by the way, I would say, if you're buying crypto on Robinhood, you should probably stop doing that, because the crypto is not yours. Um, it's that's the truth, man. You can't. It's not yours. It's not yours. So,
It's just a number.
it's just not the way to do it. Now, I'll also point out that Canada and the UK do not have payment for order flow. I'll be interested to know what the disadvantages and advantages of this are, and we can always talk about that on another show. So my article for today, which actually you sent this one to me while I was looking for my article, and I was like, hey man, I think I'm gonna stop here because I want to talk about this again, because this comes back to blockchain and the importance of blockchain, right? Which is just coming in just in time, and everyone is learning about it. And I highly encourage that everyone takes some time to just learn about cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. Okay, so in this article, we're seeing that Trump is still banned from Facebook. He's banned from Twitter, and I'm not sure what other platforms, right? But so there was a hearing to figure out if they're going to unsuspend his account. However, what happened was Facebook sort of didn't face the situation. They kind of passed it over to someone else to handle it, right? So it reads here, risk transfer, if you will, right? And so Facebook left the indefinite suspension in place right after this hearing, and referred the entire matter to the oversight board. Who is the oversight board? This who I don't know. Is this part of Facebook as well? Because what would the oversight board do, and who is Facebook, and who is the oversight board? Yeah, those are things that I'd like to know. Apparently, hoping the
entities.
Exactly. So apparently, hoping the board would do what it had not done, right? Said the former judge Michael McConnell. And this article essentially ends with the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, right? The verdict is a desperate attempt to have it both ways, upholding the ban of Donald Trump without actually banning him, while punting any real decisions back to Facebook. What do you think of that?
Well, as an early Facebook adopter, early Facebook user, and IPO investor, and a Twitter IPO investor, I was initially a big fan, but I think the differentiation between investments and public policy and people's life is critical. I've pulled out all my direct investment, and I've just let my ETFs to handle them.
Right.
But I think you and I will both attend the Guardian and just learn that there's no black and white really.
Sure.
So at this point, I'm trying to go brain dead with whatever Facebook does these days. They just have too much access to too much stuff.
Exactly. There's no black and white. But here's the interesting thing. Now, for me, okay, I think let's put aside the political situation for a bit. It does not matter to me if you're not a Trump fan or if you're a Trump fan, right? That is besides the point. Whatever you are, right? My whole point here is today it's Trump and tomorrow it's you, right? It depends. Are you going to be on the right side of Facebook? If you're not on the right side of Facebook, well, then they're just going to ban you, and then because
I know people that get banned on Facebook all the time,
exactly,
just for maybe saying, "Oh, blacks were slaves," and then boom,
and
they get kicked out.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it's just being too Pan-African. I don't know. People get banned over stupid stuff. You know how you can go on, someone can post something on your page and you can report it to Facebook.
Right.
So if they have a review board, and then based on that post, you can get banned on Facebook for like a few days or a few months. They call it Facebook prison.
Of course.
I guess Trump is currently in Facebook prison and is never getting out.
Exactly. I mean, even the platform we're on right now does a similar something, but let's not roast you, right? But now someone would ask, well, if you're complaining about these platforms and stuff like that, why would you be on these platforms, right? And
yeah. So
go ahead.
Goes back to your first question, right? And which is, what do I think about what's going on with this decision on Trump? And you say it's you now, it's Trump now, it's you tomorrow. And the reality is that they control what you do on their platform, and they have access to literally everything, even what we're talking about. My phone is next to me, so I'm sure by the time I get off this phone, I have a Facebook commercial about something Trump. Who knows? So and then you were saying blockchain
excommunicated from the internet by the time we're done with this conversation.
And you were saying earlier that blockchain is a solution to that, which is true.
Absolutely.
With blockchain, you should, especially with some of the platforms on Ethereum,
All right.
You can control the privacy and access that people have to your personal information.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing with Facebook is a private company. Some people say it's a they can do whatever they want. However, I think that as a company, you also have that responsibility to the general public, right? To be responsible and to uphold the law as it is prescribed to you. Facebook cannot write the law, man.
That's
Okay.
not law. That's why there's this whole conversation about the internet needs some kind of regulation, and Facebook
Well,
supposedly is the one pushing the regulation.
I'm more referring as to law as in, you know, things like freedom of speech, right? It may be your platform, and if you don't want people to be on it to say what they want to say, then you should just block it, and just Mark Zuckerberg and his employees will be on it, right?
But they have a tax write-off. There's actually a government. I forgot what the title is. There's a government law that gives companies like Facebook and Twitter some tax benefits and some what's it called? If they don't tell you, like, if you're not, what's it called? I can't remember. I read this article a while back. Right. So the amount of governance that Facebook and Twitter is allowed to do is based on some commercial communications law. Right. So when you get to the point of now you can ban and control what people do and say on your platform, right, then you're no longer a communications or some kind of agency, and then you now fall under the specific tax laws and so on and so forth. Exactly. So they're trying to stay between those lines so they can still enjoy those benefits.
Well, here's my
I have to go back. If I find out a quote, I will definitely share it with you.
I think this is about compassionate capitalism, right? This is something that you were talking to me about a while back.
Yeah.
There is a middle ground. Right? It does not have to be extreme. I think Facebook is very useful. I think that it's a great business tool. So Instagram, all of these things.
Yeah.
This is why I'm still, you know, I don't like Facebook, dude. For personal reasons, I'm not on there.
Yeah.
But we do not, but at the same time, we do not operate business on emotions. Yeah. Right? I can feel how I feel about Facebook, but at the end of the day, if I need to advertise my business, it is an effective way to do it, and I'm going to do just that. However, I will not allow something to kill me because I like a little bit of it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. We can always negotiate and come to a middle point where people can say, hey, okay, well, we're willing to give this information. You still get the information, and you get to grow as a business, and we do not feel violated because of your choices, right? Or trying to sway people to do one thing or another, or go with your viewpoint.
Kind of similar to what YouTube did. Right. So YouTube created YouTube Kids so that when you are on YouTube, your child while watching their video does not automatically get a commercial about Viagra. Absolutely. While you're watching your little cartoons on YouTube, right? Exactly. That is what you call compassionate capitalism. You have to invest so that you don't corrupt the society or your community within your platform, and that's more of what Facebook needs to do, to try to put an end to this fake news that is just so dominant or it's just so real on their platform and people believe it. Absolutely. They need to invest in that instead of pushing back against it and saying, oh, it's Trump's fault. It's not Trump's fault. Your platform enables it.
Absolutely.
People follow Trump because they already believe in that kind of stuff.
So with that being said, man, I think that this situation here, again, this is all the more reason why we need blockchain, because if we keep going this way, and I think, go ahead.
Apple just implemented a little piece of that in their latest iOS.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why I love Apple, man. We're buying some of their stuff, right? I think we have another somewhere.
We have a couple actually added on to our orders today.
If I was like an institutional investor, I would short Facebook. I would do to it what people are doing to Tesla.
No, I don't believe in shorting. Well, we can short Peloton though. Peloton is up to some stuff lately.
Oh, really? I haven't been keeping up with them.
Yeah, Peloton had to return, I think, 15,000 or 150,000 Peloton, what you call it? Treadmills because of it's a danger. The little kid died.
Quality control is going downhill. Okay.
Yep.
Well, all that stuff. But we're gonna switch gears here, man. Heavy section here, honestly. And I think I'm really looking forward to seeing some solutions from the new, stuff on the blockchain, right? Uh, that decentralized sort of system where you could
This feel like
anyone can be on the website. And I think there's actually there's an interesting concept going around. And I was watching some stuff on it the other day, and I never finished. But there are websites that are built on the blockchain where people are on it as a community. They earn together, they communicate together, and if you're being, you know, not a nice person, right? An ass, essentially. If you're being an ass on the platform, you can get voted off the platform by the general community, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they all saw what happened and they can kind of, you know what I mean? So it's self-policing in that way. And apparently, I'm hearing it's growing, and it is so far working great. I think people are good, man. People can police themselves. We don't need this big brother situation. I get it, man. You need the police and things like that because you have to keep some people in check. But in the grand scheme of things, yeah, I think they just make things seem more dark than it is. Like you said, all the fake news, right? That is created on Facebook.
Yeah,
And things like
and you know it's fake news, but you allow it on your platform for profits.
that. Exactly. So, and dude, so many articles on there are so fake. And it's a thing. It's not even a secret anymore. There actually, I know
Even
people who make money doing this.
even the big banks are doing it. Like, what the
Exactly.
heck is Bloomberg printing fake news?
Yeah, I know people who make money doing the clickbait articles, and it looks very real. You would think it's real, but yeah. Well, let's switch gears into more crypto. Today's an interesting day, man. We're deep in crypto, Kenny. Are you sure we're gonna come back to the S&Ps again?
Well, so, we still we I know I'm late to the game, so I'm still
Right.
building my portfolio. But I'm glad I'm in.
Right.
I'm now a believer now that I've done a lot more reading instead of just ignoring it.
Of course.
So I see profits. I've not taken the profits, so
No, we're
I'm
holding.
going for the ride just like everybody else is.
We're holding, man. We're holding. Listen, we're not necessarily early adopters to crypto because there's people who've been doing it for a long time. But in this phase, right, the acceptance phase, if you will,
Yeah.
general, I guess general public adoption phase, right? There's a lot of noise about it. We're in there. We're early, right? Now, given some crypto is gonna go away, some of it is not stable yet. But this is why you
Yeah,
do
that's
your
actually a
research.
project that will be implemented, I think, between the end of this year and next year, where they're gonna be cleaning up the coins so that we can just have
There
a
you go.
standardized set of
Some
coins to
standardized
use.
good stuff, man. And there's some really good stuff out there. I will say that. Let's talk about Dogecoin here real quick. Look at that price, 62 cents, right?
Yeah.
In the past 24 hours or so, right? You see, there's been there's another article that says 5.2 billion, but 51.2 billion. But look at that, over 40 billion dollars, okay, has been pumped into Dogecoin in the past 24 hours. Now, that is not retail investors. I can say that right now. That is institutions. So the question is, what do they know that we do not know? And if institutions are throwing so much money at cryptocurrency, why would you, as an average person, not do it? Right? What do you know that we do not know? Because most of the time when I talk to people who are not getting into crypto, all they're saying is like, "Oh no, it's very volatile. It's too risky. I can't do it." I do want to point out one thing: volatility does not equal risky. Right?
Not always.
It is just volatile. A risky something is risky. Period. Right? You could put your money there, and tomorrow it's not gonna be there. It's gone. Go ahead.
There was it that you is it a YouTube video, and it's also a book. I think you also have the book as well, which is the Smart Investor.
Yep.
And there's that crowd mentality where the entire swamp is going this direction, and you want to be the early adapters. But by the time the noise gets too much, you want to kind of be on your way out.
Yeah.
So this is when the noise is starting to get loud. So you got to keep a very close eye as to, okay, when this guy starts selling, you want to be as part of the early sellers, so that you can now come back when there is a dip, because
Exactly.
the market does not constantly go up. You and I both know that it's
Yeah,
up and down. Like
it's always gonna come back,
this guy was at $72, 72 cents, 73 cents
right?
earlier this morning. So yeah, keep a close eye, but I think the Doge is going to do something big.
Yeah.
And as you know, what's his name that owns the basketball team? The
Mark Cuban.
Mike
Mark Cuban.
Cuban say
Yeah.
you can now use Doge to pay for
Game
game
tickets and
tickets.
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
so
and that's interesting because no, in the early days, Mark Cuban was kind of like one of those people who, yeah, he really wasn't into crypto.
no, it wasn't. I didn't
Um,
believe it.
yeah, but right now, dude, he is so deep in it, right?
Yep.
He's working with all these guys who are building on Ethereum and I mean, his views on Bitcoin are still the same, but now I understand him better because he's just like, well, Bitcoin is cool, but it does not have functionality. For him, he was looking for more something that has functionality, and Ethereum is it, right? And he is 100% putting his money where his mouth is, and he's absolutely crushing it, man. And I love it. I love to see it, you
Yep.
know. Now, what I would ask is, why would someone not invest in? I'm not saying everyone has to buy Dogecoin. Don't buy it if you don't want to. I mean, it's running forever right now, but you don't have to buy that. There are other things that I would be curious to know why people will not want to invest in it. Besides the lack of awareness, right? So if you're not
So
educated on it and things like that,
so because we are informed, right? We
right?
knew to eventually get in
Yeah,
because it has the cool factor, it has the adoption of the big investors, right?
yeah,
And then it's starting to have functionality.
right.
Because after that news about the Mavericks accepting it for
Yeah,
tickets, I was
yeah,
like, that's it, man. I better get into this sucker. There's no
absolutely.
more, okay, it's just cool because our
Yeah,
guy Ellen is talking about it.
yeah.
Um, it's now becoming a tool for transaction.
For transactions, yeah.
Tell me
It's
nothing else. I mean, Ethereum, I just need to read a lot more about it. But for Doge, if you're still on the sideline, that's just because maybe you're just stubborn and you just don't want to believe in it.
hey, listen,
Um,
man.
I
We say
just
if you don't want to get in it, it's fine. Don't get in it. We just want to know why you will
yeah,
not get into it. You know what I mean? It's we cannot tell you to. We cannot tell you what to do, of
how to
course.
spend your money. Yeah,
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like when we sit here and we look at the facts, you have to ask yourself, why not? Right? Let's say if you're worried about volatility and things like that, you can buy stable coins. Right? Check this out. Which, first of all, before I even tell you this, Dogecoin is now listed on Coinbase. I don't think that they're doing that because it's going to disappear soon. Dogecoin is listed now on crypto.com, and PayPal now accepts Dogecoin for
I
payment.
mean, yeah.
All of these things are very interesting, right? It tells me that hey, this thing is going somewhere. This is just science. I'm just reading science on the wall now. I could be wrong. Either way, hey, anyhow, this video ages, man. I'm
Yo,
fine with it,
institutional investors and
right?
big firms do not throw money away just because oh it's cool. They invest in like technical potentials. Like they've done the calculation. You know how much programming and back office work needs to be done to add Doge to their list of tradable crypto. It's a
Mm,
lot of work, and it's a lot of legal work that have to go behind it. It's a lot of technical support service work that have to go behind it, partnering
absolutely.
with other system, connecting with other system. So if they're doing all that so that you can trade Doge on their platform, you better know that they know something.
It's for show and tell. It's for show and tell. Yeah, but no, I agree with you there. So for me, you're right. I'm going to keep monitoring, and I'm going to move with the wave. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that in case they decide to test liquidity by dumping a bunch like Elon did, I'll be there to buy more. You see,
Yeah.
he thought I was just gonna say I was gonna get out. I'm not getting out. Buy more. Now, I was saying earlier, if you're worried about volatility, right? Here are some things. You have things like USDC. It's a stable coin, right? So what that means is if you buy USDC, the value is going to remain the same, right? Because it tracks the US dollar. However,
Oh, by the way, USDT is $1.07.
It's $1.07. Now, why did it move? It's a stable coin.
Yo,
It's supposed to stay still, bro. What is
it's a
going on?
stable coin. I'm just trying to say that it makes sense to put your money in USDT, which is 7 cents more than putting your money in the bank.
Hey, exactly. Hey, yeah, there you go, man. You fight against that inflation, man. You give your dollar more value. But no, check this out. So you're there in there, right? You stable. You put in your money into USDC. USDC is
Yeah,
currently right
yeah.
say on crypto.com they'll give you
Pull it up. Pull
12%.
it up real quick.
Oh yeah,
Pull it
okay.
up real quick.
Hang on one moment. Let me see here. Well, here we would have to go into what is it? Crypto.com, but they don't have it on the
Yeah.
app. They don't have
Oh yeah,
crypto.com
yeah,
on
the
the desktop.
website.
Yeah, so I cannot.
Yeah.
But I did pull it up. I have it on my notes here. Their
Yeah.
interest rates, and I have the interest rates for Coinbase as well. So
Yeah.
and so USDC on Coinbase, sorry, on crypto.com right now, we're looking at 12%,
See?
right? DAI, which is also another stable coin, currently 12% interest rate on crypto.com.
That's about 0.01 that the bank is due.
Exactly. And then if you decide to just buy the crypto.com native token, that is, I think that's about 16% interest rate now. So your money could just be sitting there making money regardless, right?
Mhm.
And so there is no bank, no traditional bank that will give you that sort of interest rate. And for any traditional bank that is still charging fees of any sort these days, there's something wrong with you guys. First of all,
Hey, I got banks that I can't wait to leave because of that.
exactly, dude. You know what I mean? Like, there's something wrong with you guys if you're still charging people transaction fees or whatever fees that they're charging. It's like they just charge you for it, right? And if you're paying the fees, well, stop paying them, man. Look around, get something else. And I think it's worth it. I'm not saying like go full risk into crypto. All right, I watched a video earlier, and it was, I don't want to say it was disappointing, but I was like, what? It was Dave Ramsey, and someone called into his show, and the person would say, hey, I bought some Dogecoin, and I made this much. What should I do with it? And Ken Coleman and Dave Ramsey, guys that I listened to, I think they're great leaders.
That I admired a lot.
Yeah,
I'm kind of disappointed in them right now.
Well, they need to learn. I don't want to say I'm disappointed in them, but what I would say is, the response that he gave, because he was like, no, this is not part of our investing strategy here at Ramsey Solutions and things like that. Well, I get it, it's not part of your investing solution, but wouldn't you say it's worth it to go back to the drawing board and maybe see if you can enhance your investment strategy? After all, this is what they teach, right? These are things that I learned from people like them. If something is not working, go back and figure it out. Take it back to the drawing board. If your investment strategy is doing fine, but there's something that is evolving and coming up, maybe you should go back and look at it again. Maybe I feel like what he should have told the guy was like, hey, I think crypto is great. Dogecoin is sort of unstable right now. Take some of your profits and put it in other things that are stable and keep monitoring it. But that's my 2 cents, okay?
By the way, before I make any assumptions, as the person paid off all their debts and they just spent a lot of money just sitting down doing nothing?
I don't know, but this is not the Ramsey show, so I hope they've paid your debt. Good for him. But yeah, so that is that on cryptocurrency. Now, let's go ahead and jump into some what I would like to call now Scribble analysis. Okay.
Well, are we going to Scribble analysis and look at our last predictions?
Yeah,
our last picks?
That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at our last picks, and then we're going to recommend some stocks.
No,
and
we're not recommending.
We're recommending it to ourselves. We're not recommending to you. No, we're not recommending. We're going to pick some new stocks, right?
Pick some new
exactly.
stocks.
Yes, because we cannot give financial advice and things like that. So
yeah,
let's keep it pushing. We're going to start right here on Ethereum, since that one is just right here. Scribble analysis 1. Yeah. And we're calling it Scribble analysis because of the scribble that I did here the other day, and I never erased it.
The last video.
Exactly. I just left it there. This was the one going through the channel here. That was, what Kenny thought was going to happen to Ethereum.
Yep.
Right? It's going to rise slowly. And I drew this situation here, right, where I said, I think it's going to do a bit of a run and then pull back, and then a bit of another run, and then it pulls back.
You should keep your Scribble and see what happens.
Oh, that's why I kept it. Now, as you can see, that candle is sitting on my Scribble, okay? And now, here's the thing. I added one more thing to it. You see the yellow line at the top?
Yeah.
I think that is where we're going to get to before this pullback here happens.
Okay.
See, so now I've put another nail on my situation.
Oh, you scribble.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens now. But it's writing right on my Scribble analysis there, and I'm loving it. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. Let's keep it.
Awesome. The next one. What was your? I think yours was Overstock. You recommended Overstock and
Yes,
and
this is
and
also.
Dogecoin as well.
Yeah, Dogecoin.
Well, we all know how Dogecoin is doing today.
Yeah.
It's let's see, where is it at? There it is. Wow, Kenny,
Yeah.
man, how did you called it, man? How did you know?
Stop
That's the
making me
strong.
look like I'm a superstar all of a
Hey
sudden.
man, hey,
Oh, man.
junior stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen. Check that out. All right, so you also had Overstock. Let's check that out. Side
Yeah, we
activity.
get. Yeah, we're getting built up right now.
Yeah, we're getting hit, right? What did I have? I think I had was it higher? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I added to our IR today.
Oh, you did. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did it,
we
did it have a
have
bit of a pullback?
we have
Nice.
110 shares of it now.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're
Love
just
it.
gonna just go in there. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm
at a
talking
time.
about, man. Because I think there's definitely some potential there. We're holding.
Yeah.
We're holding. You know.
Yeah, and we're gonna be adding some more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So higher, still chilling, right? We loaded a little bit more there, and
I think it's all that talk about interest rate that is destroying our chats right now.
exactly. So I think our target price. What do you think? 17, 18, somewhere in there. We should.
Yeah, I
that,
think
right?
I think we'll probably get to $20
Yes,
by the
sir.
end of the year.
There we go. So we are holding and we are patient. All right. Now, last but not least, here, your pick for this week. What is it?
My pick for today
Oh, for today, rather. Yep.
is Party City, cause we like to party.
What's the ticket for that one?
PRTY.
PRTY. Ooh, look at that, spicy. I like it. What is going on here?
Yeah, we have to recover from COVID, and it's been coming. I've been looking at it. I actually have my cousin buy some.
Yeah.
I have it in a couple of ETFs, but
When
I don't
did,
have it as the
when-
actual stuff.
When did COVID start?
March
2019 or 2020?
2020,
Was it 20?
oh,
You see, time is flying, man. When did COVID?
Yeah.
Wow.
last year.
It was last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, two situations. Either way, we're above those two, right? So, like, let's see, we have this gap down here, and it's been rising. It's been slowly coming back up here, and we're looking at the more recent times, man. So, why did you pick this one?
Well, I recommended it to my cousin. I've been monitoring it for my cousin. The technical analysis looked good.
Right.
The management seems to be shifting some of because if you look backwards,
Right.
the stock has been trending down for quite a while, even before COVID. But based on our societal analysis, people want to get out, people want to do weddings, people want to do birthdays. That demand for fun is back.
Goodness
So
gracious, dude. How far is it falling?
yeah, it's
Oh,
falling
it's just
major.
it's just my charge. Hold on, we can fix this.
Yeah.
There we go. It's not that bad. All right, there we go. Okay.
Like 20 something dollars down to
So
that's-
there is new management and there's some sort of a recovery action taking place.
yeah
Okay.
in the economy. So I think it has the potential of maybe $10-15 before we see what happens.
Okay. I like it, man. We'll see what happens. We'll keep that one in there. And
Well,
we'll
of course,
track
it's not gonna just become $10 tomorrow. It's gonna take some
No,
time.
of course
It's
not,
a-
man.
it-
Nothing
it's a
moves
major
that way,
slow
you know what I
mover.
mean? This is what investing is. You give it time to grow. It's not.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that. So my pick for today is actually going to be Coinbase.
Coin, yeah.
Yes, it is an IPO, and I know we're seeing a lot of red candles here, and that's fine. Okay. I'm going with Coinbase for a couple of reasons. Man. Obviously, you know how I feel about crypto right now, and just blockchain. And it's something that I strongly believe in. I think that it is the future, and it's happening. So it is an IPO. It's a bit more expensive. It's $273, but if you bought it on IPO, you're probably not having a good time right now. I think it IPO'd. Let's see, where is that candle? 380. It did make it up to 430. I saw that. I got back out when it started falling. But right now, I just have, I'm just waiting. I do have one share of it, and I'm just waiting to see what happens. If it keeps falling, that's fine. When we find the bottom, we'll be able to get it. Of course, since it's new, it has to go through an IPO pattern, so there's a bit of predictability there because there's only a couple different amount of things that can happen, and I'll just monitor it and see which pattern is emerging.
And
then
the
we
moving
can move
averages
there.
start showing up. Once the moving averages start showing up,
Exactly.
you can start now putting together your Fibonacci, and then
Exactly.
you go from there.
And we go from there. So I think Coinbase is also going to be a good one, also because I think that its value is sort of also attached to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can move when it wants to move, and when that happens, I feel that this Coinbase will also move with it.
I read an article that crypto.com might IPO soon. Now that is one that I'll be very interested in.
I won't be surprised because I think Ripple as well is also planning to IPO, and there's maybe like two other crypto applications that are planning to. So it seems it's a move for
Finance.
them now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I see eToro train a lot of commercials lately just to build their followership.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And that's the interesting thing. One thing that I think is really cool about how these guys are going about it is the fact that they're willing to give you free educational videos on their platforms and pay you to watch these videos, right? I made like $35 just watching some videos to learn about the different tokens that they had on the platform. I think that is amazing. I think they're doing an amazing job, and more power to crypto, man.
another interesting article.
Yeah.
S&P now has a symbol that tracks crypto.
Does it? What is it?
Shit, I read it this morning. I have to go
Really
back and
want-
look
Okay,
for it.
we'll have it on the next show because I haven't seen that yet. That's weird. I know that there is an ETF which I have on Thinkorswim. I bought it a while back, and it was something about a Bitcoin ETF, and
I mean, we have riots. We have
Riot, we do.
we have there's two of
MSTR.
them. MSTR.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
my
okay.
alright,
So-
it's getting the spotlight for some reason. I don't know why. It's red right now.
Well, we're hanging, man. You know how the whole market is going right now,
Yeah.
right? So, well, with that being said, Coin is going to be my pick for today, and I enjoyed this video, man. I feel like I was.
Let's go
ranting.
party. Okay.
Exactly. Let's go party. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, but I'm excited. I can't wait for the next video. Any departing thoughts, Ogageni?
I think we'll just go back to what we talked about earlier today.
Right.
The difference between truth and facts. What we're trying to do here is at least be as straightforward as possible. We can't tell you exactly what's going to go up, but
Right.
we're trying to give you some facts,
Hey,
as much facts as
I
possible.
agree with you, man. We're just showing you what we're doing. That's all.
Yeah.
If you find it interesting, that's
Like
good.
and subscribe.
Like and subscribe for sure. We appreciate it. If you decide to take on some of the things, we definitely say do your research, right? And it's never a
And feel
bad
free to
idea.
ask us questions. We'll be glad to research and get back to
Yes,
you.
Definitely, please like and comment, and we can also with any questions or anything like that, and we'll get back to you in the next video. Until next time, check out.
Double O out.